You so independent, they gon' know who you is, yeah, they gon' know who you is, yeah. If they don't know.
Hi guys, it's your girl Amber Lachey, and I am back with another video. So today I will be updating y'all on what's going on in my life at the moment. So yes, y'all know that in the Get to Know Me video, I mentioned that I work at a daycare during the day. So I recently quit that job, guys. I am no longer working at the daycare. I really love kids, y'all. I love kids. Like I always did like kids, but you know, my time there was just done. I was starting to get like stressed out, and I just was not happy anymore, and I was starting to get frustrated, and I didn't really agree on a lot of the things that was going on at the daycare. And I just felt like a lot of things was unprofessional, but that's my opinion. And it was just every day when I would come home, I would just be like, oh my God, like what a day. And before I would even get to the daycare, I was already stressed. I would just dread to even go. I would dread to get out my bed, or if I was at my night job, headed to that job in the morning, I would just have to put my gospel music on because y'all, it was that bad. So it was getting to the point where I would come home and I would vent to my mom about it, and I would tell her how I was not happy, and I would tell her, you know, the things that would go on, and just a lot of the things that I would see that I just didn't agree with. And you know, eventually my mom told me, she was like, Amber, you're too stressed out over there. You need to find you something new. You need to, you know, branch off and do something different. So, you know, I go to my mom for everything because my mom will never lead me in the wrong way. So once she gave me that, you know, like, it's time to go, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's definitely time to go. Like, if my mom agrees, it's time to go. So I have been thinking about it for a while, and I never really told anyone that I wanted to quit the daycare. You know, I wasn't even trying to look for something else, like, you know, but you know, like, I was just stressed. I was stressed. So you know, it wasn't really like, you know, I said that I wanted to quit, but I said that a lot of times. I was like, I don't know, you know. And I think what it was is I didn't have something else to fall back on. So I didn't want to just quit one job without having another job. And I wasn't really applying myself to look for another job. So I kind of felt like I was just stuck in a situation, like what to do. So finally, one day I woke up, and I don't know if this was God or this was just, I don't know. But that was the day when I was like, you know what? Today, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. I'm done with the daycare. I don't want to deal with it. Like, I just can't deal with this anymore. It was just frustrating me. And I just felt like my time there was done. And I didn't even have another job. So I'm like, God, I started praying. I was like, God, if this is your will, you know, I know you're going to make a way for me. So I just put my 2 weeks out on faith. I was like, you know what? I'm putting in my 2 weeks. No, I don't have another job, but I'm just going to pray about it, and I'm going to have faith. Actually, like, me and one of my close friends, we had a conversation about that a couple of days before I even put it. And her daughter was actually in my infant class. I had the infants. And I know y'all probably saying, the infants are not hard. All they do is sleep, they eat, they cry all day for 8 hours. That eventually gets irritating. And I was not only with the infants, I was around. We had to float. You know, just because you had a certain class, that doesn't mean, you know, you're going to be in that class. I can walk in one day at 8:45 and they can be like, hey, go with the 3-year-olds, or go with the summer camp, or, you know. And with kids, it's very challenging. Like, I have a lot of patience, but I felt my patience getting short. So I was like, you know what? It's my time to like really go. And you know, I just didn't want to be, I never wanted to feel comfortable in a place. Sometimes it's good to just branch off, you know, even if you don't know what you're going to do next. Well, I'm not going to say that, because that was really one of the things that I learned. Never quit a job without another job, because I'm about to talk about how stressed I was after I quit this job. Okay, so I went ahead and I put my 2 weeks notice, and that was that. After that, I felt a relief. I was so excited. I was like, oh God, I don't have to come here every morning anymore. Yay! You know, I was happy. Well, let's talk about the stress. Okay, so in my get to know me video, if you haven't seen it, be sure to go check that video out. Well, I mentioned that I also have a night job, and my night job is I sit with a client at night, and she's blind, so I, you know, help take care of her. I monitor her. You know, I just make sure she has everything that she needs. It's at night, so most of the time she's sleeping. But yeah, so like after that job, my week on at that job, I would go straight to the daycare. Well, I was like, you know what? It was actually my first time doing that type of work. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to I'm going to go talk to my bosses and everything at the agency that I work at. And I'm just going to see if I can do that full time, what I do at night. Not with the same client, but with a different client. Because, you know, I know plenty of people that work at home health companies, and they just get on like that. It's like a breeze. So I went to do that, and she was like, well, you make too many hours. And she was like, you know, you already have this amount of hours. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, how? Like, y'all, my night job is not every night. Like, it's 1 week on and then 1 week off. So I work for 7 days straight, and then I'm off for 7 days straight. So I'm like, how is that, you know, a lot of hours? Like, I was like really confused. So I thought it was just her, you know. I was like, she just don't want me to work like full time, whatever. So I went and talked to other people at the job, and I went to see if they had any, you know, positions that I could fill. And they were basically telling me the same thing. They were like, you can work 2 or 3 days, but you can't work like a full time. You can't work full time. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I was working full time at the daycare, so that's what I needed, you know. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I didn't get stressed out yet. I was like, you know what? I'll just go apply to another company, you know. So I went to apply to another company that's similar to the company that I work at, and they were basically telling me the same thing. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, wow, this is just great. So I finally got a call back to a company that I had applied to actually before I started working at the daycare. I got a call from them, and they were like, you know, are you still available during the day and this and that? And I'm like, yeah. So she's like, okay, come in for orientation. So I go into orientation, and you know, once you go to orientation, it's like, okay, I got the job. So I go in and I do my paperwork, and you know, we're talking and this and that, and then she offers me this shift, and she said the shift was in Rain. So I'm like, oh my God, Rain is kind of far. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, it's the same distance that I really have to go to my night job. So I'm like, okay, why not? You know, this is the only company that's willing to work with me, so I'm gonna take this job. Well, she offers me a shift from 11 to 7. So I'm like, yes, like, that's great. Like, I'll take that, you know, I'll take it, because I was willing to take anything at the moment, because I quit my job without having another job. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take it. So, okay, she's like, okay, great. I finished my paperwork, and she was like, the other girls that was in orientation with me, they were not going to start till the beginning of the year, which 2019. So she said that my client was already enrolled and he was ready to go. So she was like, okay, I'll give you a call. So I'm like, all right, I got a job. Like, you know, I'm just happy because I just got a job, y'all. I'm like, I quit that job. I got another job. Another company's going to work with me. Like, everything's going to be okay. God is just working in my favor. And then, you know, I feel like days is flying by, and at this point, it's like the 5th of January, and I'm like, okay, I didn't get a call, and she said that my client was ready to go, so I was ready to be clocked on. So I give her a call, and she's like, oh yeah, she was like, I was just waiting for the new schedules to come out and blah blah blah. So then she goes and says, so you sure you want to take the night shift, right? And I'm like, the night shift? I'm like, no, you know, I thought you meant like 11 a.m. to 7. And she's like, no. So, okay, at this point, my heart just dropped because I'm like, okay, we had a miscommunication. She said 11. Okay, I'm thinking 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. because I could have sworn that's what we discussed in orientation. I don't know if I misunderstood or she misunderstood. I don't know where the miscommunication came in, but we wasn't at agreement with the hours. So she says, no honey, it's 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and I'm like, and I know at this point y'all probably wondering, okay, like, why you didn't just take that because you don't have another job? Well, that goes back to me working at night already. See, my night job, I work 10 p.m. to 7 in the morning. So it was no way that I could take that because it was going to eventually interfere on the other week that I work on. So I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I didn't want to take it. I didn't want to take it anyway, guys, because I just moved in my apartment a few months ago and I'm young and I want to be at my house sometimes. Like, I want to be in my bed. Y'all, look at my bed. I want to be in my bed sometimes. So I'm like, no, like, I'm not going to work overnight with y'all for 7 nights. And mind you, hers was 7 on 7 off too. So work with y'all 7 nights and then I have to work 7 nights with my other client. And I'm like, oh no, that means I'm never going to be home. And I'm like, oh no, like, it was kind of pointless of me getting an apartment if I was going to settle for that. So long story short, I'm back on the search of trying to find a job. And I'm just like stressed out. I'm like, oh my God, like, what did I just do? Because like, I thought, you know, oh, I'm going to quit the daycare and I'm just going to get onto a home health company just like that because I see people do it all the time. But I didn't know when you're a night worker, you can't have, you know, you can't really have another client because they're not really going to give you a lot of hours. So, yeah, I'm in stress mode at this moment. So I'm just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, what did I get myself into? Like, I'm stressing, y'all. I'm just like crying. I'm like, oh my God, I just moved in my apartment, y'all. I'm gonna be behind on bills. I'm like, oh my God, like, what did I do? And I know they say never quit a job without another job. I understood that part. But I'm like, a home health company, like, I do that already. They're going to get me on. It's going to be a breeze. I'm going to be working in no time. Little did I know, y'all, they gave me the runarounds. Like, so I was like, wow. So I don't have a job after I thought I had a job. So all I could do at this point is pray on it, pray on it, pray on it. Mind you, I had money saved, you know, for like upcoming bills and stuff, but I was worried about bills that was going to come after these bills that I already have, you know, that I already saved money for. So I'm just like, oh my God, like, did I really just, you know, move out on my own, and now I'm going to be behind on bills? Like, that's what I was stressing about. I was like, I cannot be behind on bills, y'all. So I just prayed on it, and I prayed on it, and I prayed on it, guys. I prayed, and I prayed. I don't know, like, I was praying and crying at the same time, y'all. And just so happened, okay, when I was working at the daycare, I had a parent, right? And me and this parent had a very good relationship, and I loved her son. Like, her son is wonderful. He's the cutest little boy, and he's 7 months. So she had asked me, like, during the time when I was working at a daycare, she was like, you know, when he's you know, when I have something to do, maybe on a weekend or something, she was like, or no, matter of fact, no. When I told her that I was going to be quitting the daycare, that's when she was like, you know, if I need something on the weekend, or if you can babysit him, you know, sometime when, you know, I don't want him to go to the daycare because he's sick, and because he might be sick and stuff. She was like, would you mind keeping him, and I would just pay you? And I'm like, of course, you know, like, if I haven't found another job, I would love to do that. So one day, you know, she had, she texted me, and she was like, can you watch him? She was like, because he hasn't been feeling good, and, you know, the kid's been sick at the daycare, and I don't want to just send him, you know, back right away. So I was like, okay, you know, that's some change for me. I'm not doing anything right now. I'm still on a job search. So, you know, I wound up watching him 2 days that week. And I liked it, you know, it's different. Like, I don't mind, like, the one-on-one is better than me being at the daycare with, like, a whole bunch of kids. Like, no. So, you know, that went well. And then she reached out to me again, and she was like, you know, next week, if you don't mind, can you keep him for 2 more days? So I'm like, okay, you know, I need some little extra money because, like I said, your girl quit her job without another job. Not a smart move. So I watched him, and then one day, you know, after she picked him up, she reached out to me a few hours later, and she was like, hey, would you be interested in, like, keeping him, like, you know, for, you know, during the week, you know, and I would just take him out the daycare? And I'm like, thinking to myself, like, is she serious? She was like, you know, because he's always sick. And I'm like, say no more. I was like, yes, ma'am, I would not mind keeping him. So that's just my little, like, you know, God comes through. So I'm not gonna say, you know, I make as much as I was making, but let's just say I make enough to pay my bills. So I'm like, wow, like, I was happy about that. I was really, really happy about that because, y'all, I didn't know what I was going to do, and God makes a way. God makes a way. When you're in a situation and you just don't know how you're going to get out of the situation, just know that it's not the end of the world. You can fall, you can cry about it, but just make sure you get back up because God never fails us. Like, he never fails us. And I just, like, oh my God, I love him so much for that because he got me out of a lot of dark situations. And prayers do work. If you take the time to really, like, pray about it, it works. Like, I learned how to stop venting and how to start praying. Because you can vent all day, but where is that going to get you when you can start praying and venting to God? You know, go to somebody that can really, you know, do something in your life. Like, you know, Like, God really came through for me, and I appreciate him so much for that. So that's what's going on right now, and I just wanted to share that with y'all, you know. So just a little life update of what's going on. So yes, I do babysit in the daytime. I actually like it. Like, the one-on-one babysitting is really good. You know, I'm at my house, I'm comfortable with the child is comfortable with me. And I think I want to get like more kids, you know, like not more than 5, but like at least 5, you know, and kind of make this my job during the day, you know, because I like it and I can still get things done, and I really like that. And I also still work at my night job, so things worked out for me, and I just want to say I'm thankful for that. So thanks for tuning in to see what's going on in Amber Lachey's life. So I will be having more videos coming for you guys. I think I want to start doing more sit down videos because I like to talk, guys. I talk a lot, so people that know me know that I can talk, especially my mom, know that I can really talk. So I think I want to have more videos of that and more videos of me talking on different topics. I think I'm going to start doing some challenges with my friends. And, you know, more vlogs coming soon, but I wanted to kind of switch it up. So I just want to say thank y'all for watching me, and those of you who support me and have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I am very happy about, you know, the people that take time to really support me, and I just want to say I appreciate y'all, and that, you know, more things are going to be coming. So thank you guys. Mwah. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, your girl will be back with more videos.
You so independent, they gon' know who you is. Yeah, they gon' know who you is. Yeah. If they don't know, I'm up to my nap.